All right. How we doing tonight, everyone? So I thought about, hey Black Van, how's it going? Thought about why not just do something a little different tonight. I actually just finished recording. I'm gonna do some editing. I'm not gonna have it on screen. Uh, I'm just gonna be doing the editing, but I figured maybe as people just come and go, we can hang out and chat. So that's basically it. Hey, what's up, Rocky Mountain? Figured we start off though real quick, just talking about some of those HasLab upgrades. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but looking pretty cool. In fact, I haven't checked to see what the current HasLab is up to. Uh, I know we're getting now the Master Mold alternate head and the battle damage alternate head, and then we have one more tier to go to unlock. And I'm kind of curious if it's going to be more stuff for the Sentinel or if it's going to be um, like maybe they'll throw in an extra Bastion so that way each Sentinel you can actually have a Bastion and a Sentinel Prime. Um, who knows? What are they at right now? So we're at 8,500. So probably by tomorrow, I imagine we'll hit the 9,000 goal there and have the next tier unlocked. It makes me wonder if they'll add another tier. Like, I know when the Spawn Kickstarter started doing really well, Todd was basically like, "Holy crap, this is taking off." I think he hit 3 million and he did something else. You know, it's funny. Rocky, I was just talking with a coworker today because we were calling it because we had said yesterday when we were talking that it's going to be a master mold, and then sure enough, master mold drops, and then today when it was inching closer and closer towards 8,000, him and I were talking. I said, maybe a battle damaged head or something, and then sure enough, it was battle damaged. So morph would be awesome. Uh, I hope it wouldn't be on a Bucky Cap body, but a morph, and I would preferably one with the jacket because I feel like the cartoon he wore that jacket pretty often, didn't he? I think so. But yeah, a morph figure would be cool. The only thing that makes me wonder if they wouldn't do that is because they were pretty specific on the reason that they did do the Bastion with the Sentinel Prime head was so that people, when they got the extra 6-inch figure, that they could army build that figure too. So you might end up seeing a flood of morphs on eBay, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. If somebody gets multiples of the Sentinel, sell off the extra morph. I guess just wonder how much it would go for. Yeah, that would be pretty sweet though. Um, but anyway, like I said, tonight just gonna kind of hang out. I'm gonna start editing here. Again, I have the desktop audio muted, so you guys aren't going to hear my edits. And then I figure I'll just kind of chat, and you guys can jump in. And I have the chat window up, so I'll be checking that and just kind of hanging out. Interchangeable part system that you could change some parts to be battle damage. I mean, right now it said head and hand. Um, the only thing that I don't like about interchangeable parts, I mean, if they were able to do more like chest pieces and stuff like that, is sometimes it's always funny that you have a perfectly pristine everything else, and then in this case, a hand and the head. I think what was it? I think there was a Hot Toys RoboCop that did that, where you could swap out something. It might have been a chest piece and the head that you could swap out to be battle damaged, but then you had perfectly fine arms and everything else, and it didn't. It always looked weird to me when I saw people put the battle damage on there, um, just because, yeah. So, like I said, I'm gonna be doing some editing, so still here to chat. Hasbro adds extra heads and accessories of Morph. Have him using his powers and morph in different characters. Which, I mean, you're not wrong. You can just grab the extra heads that you already have. I mean, throw you know, if you have the Cyclops extra heads from the Love Triangle, throw those on there. Throw a Logan or Wolverine head on there. I want an alternate Wolverine head where he's yelling, "Morph!" Yeah, actually, Black Van, we were talking about that too. My coworker and I said, what if, since obviously there's a plug in the hand, uh, what if a power effect, just like a cone of a laser beam or something like that? That would be kind of cool. I don't think I would want that alone for a whole tier though. Like maybe if they did, I would almost say that if I had to choose between like that and an extra Bastion or Sentinel Prime, whatever, I would probably say I'd rather have the body of the Sentinel Prime. So, but maybe like an accessories pack. So maybe you get the blast effect. Maybe I don't know what else. I mean, the battle damage is already there. Yeah, I don't know. But accessories would be good. Don't get me wrong. I would like that. I'm going to be doing some math in my head too because I'm counting my frames before I'm doing my editing. So I need to go. Like I said, don't mind me. I'm just checking out my editing. I said, do I have it muted? I do have the desktop muted. How's things going in your guys' neck of the woods, though? I'm with you. I'm I'm getting ready to put out. I'm getting ready to put out the bat signal to the family. I have a birthday that's coming up in a few months, and then obviously Christmas. I'm gonna put out the bat signal on Facebook and link that and say, "Hey, you guys, if you guys get me this Sentinel, you're off the hook for both birthday and Christmas for however long you want to be off the hook for." Um, I should be able to get one on my own, no problem, but I'm not gonna lie, and I know it's super greedy to say, but I want more than one. Like at this point, especially with that battle damaged head, I want to have at least two so that I can have a proper fight scene. That would just be awesome. Oh, it's been a minute since I put a video out. I think it's been a day or two. Honestly, I did a live stream last night too, wasn't it? Or was it Friday night? No, I did a live stream Friday night because I did the live stream Friday morning during the HasLab announcement. I did a live stream that night. I didn't do anything last night. I was lazy. I watched YouTube and just sat on my computer. So yeah, I was thinking if I do end up only getting the one, that uh, at the very least I could have something set up with just the head, like literally take the battle damaged head and maybe even the battle damaged hand, and just have them as prop pieces laying on the shelf, just looking like a defeated sentinel. I mean, that's actually something that's kind of cool that you could use it for if you don't army build it, to just have them as set pieces for the display. So that's kind of cool that you can use that. At some point, I think I'd want to have a display of the Days of Future Past Sentinel that I have, and then do Master Mold, so it'd have a proper scaling of Master Mold being giant, Sentinel not being so giant. I'm doing the I know it's like way outdated. Um, Video I'm editing right now, the video that I shot tonight was the Gamerverse SpiderMan from GameStop from like what 2 years ago, I think. Um, I've had it this entire time, and since I just did the Demon Goblin wave with some of the Spider-Man game stuff, um, I figured, now's a good time to review this one. I figured this might be something I try to do, like while I'm editing, instead of just sitting here focused. Invite you guys in to chat. You're gonna see me doing a lot of thinking here. I have to do a lot of math, counting my frames when I'm editing my cuts and whatnot. It was a pretty impromptu. Uh, More people might show up. You never know. I seem to get most of my views at night, and it is a Sunday night though. A lot of people may be in bed getting ready for work the next day. I know I have to work in the morning, so I'm gonna get this edit done, and that'll probably be about time for bed for me there. So honestly, I just have fun. I try to, when I do the live streams, I try to think about what it would be like if nobody came. Just have conversations with myself. Worst case scenario, somebody's watching this during a replay. I'll some of my live streams I have not played or not put up. After they're done, some of them I have. So I just figure I'm gonna go into it and just have fun, and if I get viewers, great, and if I don't, that's fine too. I do appreciate you guys being in here. I like interacting. I discovering that I'm liking live streaming more than I thought I would. When I was first doing some of these live streams, I was pretty nervous. I'm pretty camera shy, as a lot of people tend to be, and I kind of had to just get over it. And I think the first time I did my live stream, I did one, I messed it up not that long ago. I started the live stream and I was talking for 45 minutes, and only to find out that I didn't click the button in the YouTube studio that said go live. So I was literally talking for 45 minutes to myself, and I hit the go live button, and it was just me. Like I hit the button, and then it was like, you're live. So when it went live, it was me doing this. I was like, hey everyone, hopefully you haven't been here for long. So that was a fun one to do. That was an interesting live stream for sure. Never tried doing the editing though, like with you guys being in the chat but just not having the edit up. I probably would honestly have the edits up so that you can kind of see what I'm doing inside Vegas and stuff, and just sort of do like a behind the scenes thing. But I edit on my ultra wide, so when I cut to stuff, it's very distorted. Like you can't see it. Like here, let's see, can I add it in there quick? Browser. Okay. Oh yeah, I think you guys might be seeing that right now. Yeah. So if you can see that, that's what editing on an ultra wide looks like. So it's super big, and rid of that. And it doesn't play nice with 16:9. So, oh, and I closed the chat window. There we go. There we go. But yeah, like I said, I figured having fun. It is fun to speculate what the next upgrades are with each of these tiers that are coming out. We were actually, my coworker and I today were talking about what's going to be SDCC this year, and wondering if they're going to do anything really worthwhile, or if they're going to maybe tone it down this year so that they don't, I don't know, cannibalize their sales. For me, well, not just for me, for most of us, $350, we can justify it. But with that being, 350 that we're going to be putting on the Sentinel, if you have too many Comic-Con exclusives, like I hope it's maybe at most a 2-pack for like $40. I'm hoping it's nothing crazy, because if they got something that's like $100 pack, I hate to say that I wouldn't get it, but Comic-Con exclusives have been the ones that I skip in some cases. I didn't get the Subway Authority one, the Netflix Daredevil and whatnot. Have I ever thought of the price point for that Sentinel? What do you mean? Like thought about what it might have been before it launched? If that's what you mean, then yeah, me and my friends were definitely toying around with how much we thought it was going to be, and we were expecting a bit more. 350 actually is better than what I anticipated, so that's not too bad, considering that Jabba's palace, or whatever, not his palace, his barge, Jabba's barge and Unicron were both over 500. Do I think it's too expensive? I mean, I guess that's hard to say. So if I knew more about how much like manufacturing and stuff cost, like I don't know what their overhead is on this. So, obviously right now, when you think about a product, they're at 8,500. Obviously that's going to start slowing down soon. So, if they end up selling 15 to 20,000 units, like I don't know where their break-even point is. I think it's too much in the sense that I don't want to spend that much. I guess you'd have to see the build quality to say for sure if 350 is too much. I think about like the Hot Toys and stuff like that are in the, like, take what is it? Brain farts. It's late. Hulkbuster. That's the Hot Toys Hulkbuster was $500 or $600. Now, granted, that was all die cast and everything, but if you had made that out of plastic, would it have been, instead of $500 or $600, would it have been $300 for that Hulkbuster? Maybe. So, I don't know, hard to say if it's too much or not. So glad I got a good editing rhythm down now. Used to be so much more difficult, I guess. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think the price point's too much? Do you think it's about right? I am glad it's lower. Like I said, I was expecting more. I was expecting 400 or 500. So I'm actually pretty pleased that it was 350. I was actually talking to my wife today about it, and was telling her about the extra head and whatnot, and I was like, babe, I kind of want 2 of those. And she shot me a look. She goes, if you spend $700 on toys, then you don't even want to see what I'm going to spend $700 on. So, yeah, that's going to be a thing. I have to realize that I have other priorities that I have to keep in mind. When I shot this video, I really messed up a lot. I have a lot of outtakes here. Probably, it wouldn't be makeup. I'm not sure what it would be, but she'd find something to spend it on. we have a 2-year-old. She'd probably end up buying a bunch of toys for him. Man, a lot of outtakes. Whenever I'm doing the outtakes, like I always just pause for a minute, so I'm going through. I gotta find which take which take was it that I actually ended up liking. So, slicing down a 6-minute clip here to figure out what the 3 minutes of usable material that I actually have. Save that in case my program crashes. And all my little video clips here. Rest of it. Speaking of San Diego Comic-Con, I think I got sidetracked on that. When I was talking to my coworker today, we were talking about like what would they do, and they seem to have had a trend. I don't know. They feel like they did it a couple times, but they would do like an MCU based figure or live action in the case of the Netflix stuff, and then they would do a comic based one. And I started thinking like if we're gonna do an MCU based Comic Con exclusive, what would it be? So we were kind of doing some speculation there, and I think we settled that it'll probably be a fat Thor in his armor, though. Obviously, we already got the Build-A-Figure fat Thor, so I'm thinking either that or a proper nanosuit Hulk. And actually, I would be okay if it was the nanosuit Hulk with like the tore up arm after he does the snap. I think that would be cool. I could also see him doing Tony or Iron Man, whatever, with a beat up RDJ head, and then do his gauntlet when at the end when he does the snap. I could almost see that, but I feel like it would be an Endgame based figure. I mean, obviously we're not getting Black Widow for a while, and I haven't seen the movie, but I feel like a Black Widow SDCC exclusive wouldn't sell. I guess I don't know what other versions of Black Widow they have left to go over since we haven't seen the movie yet. But I think you would probably have the most people excited about a fat armored Thor. That way, since we have Worthy Cap, we already have a couple Endgame versions of Tony that work. So would you get that if if it ended up being Fat Thor? I actually think I would prefer the nanosuit Hulk if I had to choose. Well, no, I want Fat Thor. Yeah, I want Fat Thor. I think that would be a good one. Yeah, I'd probably have to pick it up too. I mean, the good news is when they have those Comic Con exclusives, like they're not typically ridiculously priced. You know, it might be um, $25 for a Fat Thor in armor. Sorry, tweaking my edit. I know I'm getting distracted while talking. Did the webbing uh, accessories. Oh, and I burped. Forgot I burped on camera. That was really loud in my earpiece. Might have even heard that through the mic. Oh, phone just went off. Nothing important going off this late at night. If you had to do a comic book based San Diego exclusive, what would you want? I'm trying to think like what is big in either comics or movies. Like, I don't know, it seems like they try to do something that's relevant to what's happening, either in comics or otherwise. I mean, I guess not technically when they did the retro Hulk there, they did that because that wasn't really relevant at the time. They were just showing us the new. Sorry, I'm just looking at how I did this. Red Skull, yeah, yeah. That's been a minute since we got that. That was God, what 2014, the Mandroid wave, which that's a wave that I missed out on. I started getting into Legends just after that. Um, I think it was what Mandroid wave and then Absorbing Man wave. Maybe it was Allfather. Either way, yeah, I don't have the only Mandroid wave figure I have is a AIM soldier, which now with the AIM exclusive, I don't really have to worry about trying to find more of those. So yeah, I have a Red Skull, but that's only because I had found an extra Spider-Man Noir for retail, and I picked it up, and then took the Red Skull head from the Iron Skull figure that we got in the Abomination wave, and made a so I had a Red Skull. Um, yeah, but yeah, I could see a classic Red Skull. That would actually be cool. I'm trying to think who else I'd want. Somebody asked me that. Maybe it was you. Somebody asked me that the other night. Like, what Marvel Legends would I want? What figure would I want? And like, I don't really know. You know, I try to think of who I need to round off a any teams and stuff. And I don't know. I think the other night I had said updated U.S. agent would be nice because I wouldn't mind getting a West Coast Avengers team going. So having a U.S. agent, because I think right now U.S. agent goes for anywhere between like $50 and $80 still on eBay. Um, so that would be nice to have a bit less costly. And I'd like to see it updated, not on the Bucky Cat mold. Hate the Bucky Cat mold. Get rid of the Bucky Cat mold. I don't hate it, but it's overdue. It's actually not as difficult to edit while talking as I thought it would be. I know I'm losing my train of thought here a little bit here and there, kind of leaving you staring at dead air. I apologize for that. But I don't know. Maybe if we start making this more of a habit, we'll see more viewers at a time. One of these times, maybe I'll try to just set it up where I'll have the actual program on screen so you guys can just watch me edit. Long, a lot of dead. Um, just out of curiosity, what Marvel Legends figure? Whoops, what's happening? What Marvel Legends figures that are currently out? So not like speculation or anything. Like you could literally go on a store and get it right now, eBay or otherwise. What would you want right now? So I'll give you something reasonable, obviously. Um, but what would you? Who do you not have in your collection that you would want? Say if I gave you $100 to go get them. Just curious. Mine right now. So I missed out on, just because I'm being the completionist that I am. I still need the Captain America, the World War II cap with his motorcycle. I need that one, and that's why I was talking like reasonable. Like obviously, yeah, I would say, it's probably some older Toy Biz figure that goes for $100. I have most of the other stuff that's recent. Not to brag. Yeah, I need that Captain America though, and then who else do I need? I mean, I guess I'd probably do some of the Mandroid wave. I wouldn't mind having a Mandroid. I've seen people army build those. Like that's pretty nuts. They're probably going like 60 a pop. I'm guessing. Sure, they're not cheap for just the Mandroid build a figure. Maybe even more. Sorry, frame rates again, or not frame rates, but looking at actual frames and everything. Hey, articulated. What is happening, my brother? Is this Glenn or Eddie? I think it was Eddie last time, wasn't it? Because you were talking about Glenn. Unless you're Glenn, you talk to yourself in the third person. Hey, what's up, Eddie? What's the? Oh, were you just rattling off numbers? Yeah, I'm looking at my. Yeah, alter ego. Nice. Just hanging out. Oh, frame rate. That's what I figured you were talking about. Frame rate. I'm editing. I know you guys can't see the screen, but I'm sitting there editing, so I keep looking at like, okay, because I do things usually in 15 frame increments because I'm shooting at 30 frames a second. So I'm doing things in like 15 frame increments when I'm looking at stuff. So I'm always like, okay, I'm at 4 minutes 9 seconds, frame 24. I need to get to this one, so I always have to stop and do math in my head. We're just hanging out. We're talking about the upgrades that they've released so far. I don't know. I did 30. Everything I saw for 30 frames said that that's more common with internet-based videos. So I was like, all right. And I just started shooting at 30 frames. So, oh, it makes the math a little bit easier because I can do it in 15 frames instead of 12. If my camera did 60 in 4K, I'd probably do that. I did some tests early on and shot in 1080p. I can do 1080 at 60 frames. Actually, I can do 1080 at 120 frames, but that's pointless. 60 frames looks really good, but I kind of wanted 4K instead because I felt that the focus on detail was more important. So, but that's literally why 30. I saw somewhere on tutorials when I was looking up editing and common like codecs and things like that, and they just said for internet-based video that 30 frames tends to be the way to go. Like I say, it does make it a little bit easier. I do all my like my 360 shots and stuff that I do are all timed out specifically, so like I have it all pre-planned and I can put everything where I want to put them. 2K 70 frames. Is that a real thing? isn't that 2K Ultra HD? Like it's not 4K, but yeah, 2K is like UHD, right? That's what it's considered, if I'm not mistaken. But isn't 70 frames? Isn't that kind of a waste too, though? Oh, okay, 60. I was gonna say like 70 frames seems like a waste. Also odd. That makes sense. I I don't know, 4K. So I might be in the minority, but I actually watch a lot of YouTube on my TV, and I got a 55-inch Sony, so and it's a 4K. So it's one of those things where I actually really like seeing the 4K videos, because I can see the detail and everything. So with action figures, I thought we'll do 4K. Why not? That works out. See, there's me doing my math again. Adding 15. I feel like I'm such a caricature of myself every time I do that. Looking up. And I was showing earlier, since we got a few more viewers in here, I'll add it in real quick. I was showing earlier why I don't have my editor on screen right now. Yeah, there it is. So when I'm editing in Vegas in my ultra wide, it's whoops, moving the wrong thing. There we go. Um, it's too big, so when I shrink it down in order to make it fit on the screen, like it's pretty ridiculous looking. I know this looks weird right now, but like that's what it looks like right now for me to do my edits. So I was like, it's weird to try to put that in there. So one of these days, maybe I'll do my stream in 21:9 with the aspect ratio. And then if you got 16:9, you'll just have to watch me with the black bars on it. Oh, and my pop-out window went away. Dude, ultra-wide is the way to go. So I have dual monitors, like most of the cool kids do. But my ultra-wide is facing, that's my main monitor. And then over here, like my webcam right now is actually sitting on top of my secondary monitor, which I have a stand that they're attached to, and let's see if you can see it. So it's at an angle, so it's facing towards me, and that right now is running OBS. So, but yeah, I mean, you saw obviously how much of a timeline you have when working with an ultra wide, and it's so much nicer. Like, it's just, I can see my entire timeline, and it just makes it so much easier. I'm gonna laugh if when I go back and like when I upload this video, because I'm playing stuff right now, so I'm gonna laugh if I leave like a blooper or something in because I'm half listening, half talking, half reading. I'm almost actually done with it anyway. Usually only takes me, let's see, I've been streaming for 45 minutes, so I started editing when I started streaming. Yeah, I would have been done by now. I do a lot of talking. Sure. Takes me usually, depends on the video, but like a video like this, so I'm doing the advanced suit Spider-Man that came out from GameStop a while ago. I had him lying around, so just need some content to grow up, but I probably would have had this edited in about 20 minutes if I was focused. But the hard stuff's almost done now. Like when I'm editing, my hardest shots, and not hard, but my most involved shots are all my 360 segment. So that's usually about a minute and a half, 2 minutes long of a couple of 360 poses, my 360 pan up, any accessories, then my static vanilla pose with the scale, and then a final pose. So when I'm shooting that's I usually, when I take it out of the package, first thing I do is straighten them out, measure it so I can get the height, write it down so that way when I'm doing my voiceover, I have the height there to reference, and then I'll shoot repose, or when he's in the vanilla pose, I'll shoot his straight on for the scale. Then I'll do the 360 on the turntable for the pan up. Then I'll do the 3 poses, and during one of the poses, I'll just record. That's basically what you guys are hearing. Whenever you see me doing those 360 shots, I'm just coming up with whatever on the fly. Sometimes I know a lot about the stuff, sometimes I don't. So I think it was, when was it? The Spidey armor. So I have them laying around. The Mark III Spider armor. Speedy Stir Fry, one of my commenters, pointed out that armor was actually used in the comic books as well. It wasn't just limited to the video game. So I had commented about it being, obviously the video game based suit, but I was like, oh, well, shit. You can use it for whatever else. You use it in the comic setup if you wanted to. So, but the advanced suit and the velocity suit did not come from the comic books. Those were made for the video game specifically. So, Eddie, are you snagging that Sentinel? And are you only snagging one if you are? Yeah, between the two of you guys, snag 2 of that bad boy. I was saying how I'm gonna be putting out the bat signal to the family and telling them that they can forego the next birthday and Christmas for however long they want. Just get me one. I saying that, I was telling my wife that I wanted to, and she just looked at me and said, "If you spend $700 on action figures," and then she stopped and goes, on 2 action figures, then I'm gonna go spend $700 on some stuff too. Like, all right. I don't have $1,400 for me to blow 700 and you to blow 700. So I think that's what I might do. Actually, I tried to talk one of my friends into it today. I said, if you buy one, I will slowly pay you back for it. I might talk my brother into it. I want a couple. Like 2 is nice. I want more than 2 though. And I know it's super greedy right now, but I feel like I'm allowed to be greedy with this one because it's a limited window to buy, and if you don't buy it right now, you are going to pay so much more. Oh, wait a minute. So you're getting 2, and then Glenn's getting 1. So, all right. Well, I was telling one of the guys at work because he's getting 1 too, and actually two of my friends at work are getting them. So I told him, I was like, hey, I might want to do like a photo shoot or something. Like, I don't know, set up a diorama. So I was like, I might need to borrow your guys's to set something up, and I was like, I'll give them back. One of my friends who doesn't even collect figures was thinking about doing the Spawn Kickstarter, and he's like, dude, the way you talk about these figures, he's like, I watched some of your videos, like, I really want some of these. Like, dude, it's a fun hobby to get into. And then he goes, well, I might get one of those Sentinels. I said, tell you what, get it anyway, and then if you change your mind and you don't want it, I'll buy it from you for retail. So he started laughing. Sorry, I'm listening to myself ramble there in the video. 26. Frame 26. Yeah, right on. No, you're good, man. Like I said, we're just hanging out anyway. I might start making this a regular thing, so you too. Take care. Have a good night. Tell Glenn I said hi. We're actually about wrapped up with the edit anyway here, so we'll probably be cutting quick. Later, Eddie. And that is gonna do it for this review, everyone. Just listen to myself. This edit came out pretty decent. It's gonna be a shorter video. Looks like about 7.5 minutes. So, which that's not. I didn't think it was gonna be a long video. It's a reused head, reused body, reused accessories. And I guess even it was reused even when it came out. So, actually, that is happening. Okay. Oh, whew. Froze up for a second there. I was not excited about that. Shot of the UPC code, I usually have it a little bit cleaner. All right. That's tonight's edit. That way I'll have this edited and uploaded for tomorrow. But I think that is going to do it for the stream tonight. Unless you guys got anything you want to ask or chat about here. I don't think I really have too much. I guess before we go, me save this. We'll take a quick look and see where it's at for the Sentinel here. And it's going to look wonky. Let's see, does this... Oh, there we go. So it's going to look wonky because of the ultra-wide. Can I make this fit? Probably not. Let me try something. We're doing some live stuff. I don't know what this is going to do. Let's see what this does. Boy, does a thing. That, well, that might have made it work. Almost. There we go. That made it work. My chat window. Chat window went open. Perfect. All right, there we go. A little live changes here. So what are they at? So we are at 8,500 backers. So almost to the 9,000. And then if you guys hadn't seen it yet, so there's the master mold head there. And then the battle damage, I wish we had a better picture of it. Can you get it to... Yeah. Can't really see it. It says battle damaged head. But... Or hand. Battle damaged hand. Can we... zoom in on that? See if I can zoom in on it. Doesn't self-adjust, so you can't zoom in on it. Doesn't make the picture any bigger. That's kind of lame. Hey, sweet, what's happening? We're actually getting ready to wrap up, I think, here pretty quick. We were just kind of stopping and taking a look to see where the HasLab was at before we signed off for the night. So, looking at the Tier 2 and saw that they're about to be Tier 3. So, that'll be pretty good. But yeah, I think that is actually going to do it. Sorry if you did just join. We've been only live for about an hour, but in the future, I am thinking about doing this more often. Just kind of doing, some hangouts where I'll just do an edit, and while I'm editing, we just hang out and we just chat. Whatever. Nothing crazy. Thought that would be fun. I actually had fun. I talk to myself a lot anyway, so whether or not I have people in the stream talking with me, I'm not really worried about it. So, but with that being said, I think we'll go ahead and cut it here. And yeah, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Talk to you soon.